Hey everyone, welcome back to Eat the Cake Anime. I'm your host, Jay Renee.
And I'm her ever-loving husband and sidekick, Ron.
Why did you hesitate in the opening just now, sir?
Hey, I'm trying to let you finish, baby.
Yes, well, as you guys know, this is usually the podcast where we review different shows that we love, anime especially, and it also includes, movies and adult animated series, based on what we see, what we like, and if we recommend it to you.
Let's just say it for like it is. We like cartoons.
We love our animation.
There we go.
So for this week, we are talking about Invincible Fight Girl. Y'all, Invincible Fight Girl was such a surprise to us.
Mm-hmm.
It was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, when I first saw the commercials for it, I thought it was going to be kind of kiddish, so I kind of shied away from it. But the moment we started watching it, we were locked in for the entire season.
Yeah, it was kind of hokey at first, I thought, with the animation, but then the more I got into it, even from the first 5 or 10 minutes, it showed that it was really, really good. Okay, so for context, Invincible Fight Girl premiered in November of 2024, but it is not an anime. It is an adult animation Western show.
Yeah.
Of course, it premiered on Adult Swim, followed by being on Max. But what impressed us most about Invincible Fight Girl was the content. It put my love for wrestling from when I was younger, it brought that to the forefront and just kind of revived this whole thing that I had totally forgotten about.
Oh yeah, if you're like an old school wrestling fan from back in the day with the Junkyard Dog,
oh my god,
and the rest of those wrestlers,
yes,
I mean Jimmy Snuka, and
yep,
the rest
Superfly. Okay, so let me go ahead and tell you all now. I'm letting everyone know, honey, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. The American Dream was a part of my lexicon as a child in everything. My brother, my cousins, we were all into wrestling. So those were the days, like you said, Junkyard Dog, Dusty Rhodes, Magnum TA, just all of those, Nikita Koloff. So, Iron Sheik. But I digress, because we can get off on a tangent and do a whole show on wrestling. So yes, Invincible Fight Girl brought back all of those things, and it was just such a good nostalgic feeling, along with the freshness of what this anime has shown us, or this animated show has shown us.
Yeah, I mean, it's a show about wrestling, about this young lady who's an accountant.
Andy, on accountant aisle or whatever.
And ever since she caught wrestling one time on television and then went to the venue with her parents, she's just been awestruck all in respects to wrestling.
Yeah, it is a story of this young lady, Andy, who's, groomed to be an accountant. It's like this fantastical world, of course, where everyone is an accountant. And I just thought that was so interesting, because I'm like, why choose that? But, I guess the creators had a good reason, I guess, to show how different both sides of the coin was. So this young lady who, she saw the wrestling in person after seeing it on television, and she was hooked. She had this whole setup, and her, and her parents didn't know anything about it. So it was her dream to become a wrestler in a world where that just wasn't a thing for her. So we follow Andy and how everything basically came to be. The person that she looked up to the most, the wrestler that she saw that changed her perspective, was this female wrestler, Kesa Poblana. Go ahead. I think you want to say something.
Yeah, she becomes Aunt P.
Aunt P. And it just shows Andy's journey, becoming a wrestler, the discovery of it all, and some of the opponents or the villains. It was during that whole attitude era of wrestling where people talked a good game and could back it up, and folks were gimmicky. But that's what Invincible Fight Girl, with these few episodes, that's what they gave us, and it was great.
Yeah, the thing I liked about it was it gave you that old school wrestling nostalgia feeling. Even though it had a lot of this new stuff, I ain't gonna lie, I'm not really big into the whole new attitude way wrestling is now, but it gave you
it's
that
very slick now.
Invincible Fight Girl gave you that old school feel good wrestling type feeling, and that's what I loved about it.
Yeah, and this was created by writer Justin Gordon Montgomery, and for those of you all who are like us, always looking at credits, looking at people's stuff, Mr. Montgomery was a part of the show. Was it My Dad Was a Bounty Hunter?
Yeah, something like that.
Now,
yeah.
full disclosure, you guys, I never watched that. However, I did watch DC Superhero Girls.
Oh, yeah.
And he was also a writer on that. So Justin Gordon Montgomery is the creator, writer of Invincible Fight Girl. And another thing that impressed us was it was not your typical formulaic protagonist,
Agreed.
antagonist, everybody, oh, if you believe hard enough, all your dreams can come true. No, it was so funny. The writing was so smart and it was so funny. It had the anime elements in it. It had all of that, oh, please train me, please. I was like, nope. It did not turn out the way you thought it would turn out. And these were people of color who were actually driving the story. And that, to me, was unprecedented.
As well as the voiceover cast.
Yeah, you're driving the story. And of course, it was narrated by, as always, the incomparable Mr. Keith David. Shout out Goliath and all the other things that he has done. But the way Justin Gordon Montgomery created these characters and put them into play, Andy is a female of color. And the crazy part about it was the way the world is set up. She's taking the hits, the punches, the kicks. She's taking all of the abuse. And it's still a fantastical world where you can come back and show that you still have the mettle to do certain things. We're talking Perm Gang. We're talking...
Big shout out Tony Baker.
Listen, Invincible Fight Girl, you guys, to us basically was a stroke of genius.
Yeah.
Because it put in the stuff that made our childhoods fantastical and fun, mixing in with our race or our culture without making a big deal about it. Like, oh my God, look at this. No, it's just a regular part of what's going on. And it was so cleverly done that you don't even think about it.
It was fun.
Yeah. At the beginning, I was like, this is interesting. Wow. She looks like us. They look like us. They sound like, but then the more you got into it, that kind of just fell away because the whole premise and the story, it was so good.
Yeah. Like from the very beginning of it, you first look at it like, oh, this is going to be kind of kiddie.
Right.
It should be on regular Cartoon Network. And
Yeah,
not Adult
the animation.
Swim.
Yeah, the animation kind of lent itself to like what producer Ron is saying, like the kiddie stuff. And at Eat the Cake Anime, we are action packed. A little romance here and there. Producer Ron loves his isekai and slice of life. But yeah, for the most part, I did think it was a kiddie show.
And then once you actually start getting into the story, like the first half of the first episode, it was like, oh, this is not for kids. And then you start getting into it and the story starts progressing. And it's not specifically formulaic where you can look at it like, oh, this is about to happen, that's about to go on. It was just like, okay,
right.
Let me get into this. This is getting a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better.
Right.
And then next thing you know, you're like 4 or 5 episodes in. It was good.
Yeah, and we kept saying, oh my goodness, how many episodes, how many seasons? And of course, it's only one season.
But it has been approved for another season.
Really?
Yes. We don't know when it's coming yet, but it has been approved.
I haven't seen anything about that. But hey, you guys, Eat the Cake Anime, you heard it here first. Producer Ron said that there's a second season. But we need more content like this. If I can just break away from it for a second, we need more content like this, more representation in the fantastical world, and the protagonist isn't some generic person with a heart of gold that's giving out all of these lessons. You know what I mean? This was it made me so proud. It made me so proud to be an anime lover, even though this is not anime. But a lot of the animation and a lot of the themes pulled from anime.
Yeah, very reminiscent.
Yes, it was a lot of that, and to combine that with our love of wrestling, how we came up, we love to tout at Eat the Cake Anime how we are Gen Xers, people of color, doing things differently, that's outside of the box. This is a perfect example. Invincible Fight Girl is a perfect example of that. Shout out Justin Gordon Montgomery. If you don't come on with more content like this or others behind you, because I know it was, I read somewhere where he did a panel, I think it was at SCAD,
Okay.
the Savannah College of Art and Design, where they did something and he was a part of a panel and he was talking about how he was able to get Invincible Fight Girl made. So I'm assuming, and full disclosure, I didn't go into, what was said and, all this stuff, but I'm assuming it was a passion project, kind of a labor of love, and bringing it to the screen it's really been gratifying for us, because yes, we've had our Dragon Balls, we've had our, Thundercats, we've had our
He-Man.
our He-Man. Yeah, we've had all of this stuff, in the 80s, but then we also had Mr. T. We also had WWE, WWF. We were very active when we were younger, and then the wrestling, it was all about the attitude. All about the attitudes and the gimmicks. Captain Lou Albano with all the rubber bands, like the Junkyard Dog with the chain, like I said, the Iron Sheik with the shoes, Nikita Koloff, like he was from Russia. And, during the Cold War, like back then, that was like, wow, so exotic. But then you had the Four Horsemen. You had Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, Bret the Hitman Hart, Owen Hart. You had these people that were so larger than life, and these were the days, you guys, when wrestling was like bloody. You had what was his name? Like Sergeant Slaughter. Like you had people like that, cage matches, battle royales, and you just kind of taken that parallel and brought this to life and incorporated that stuff.
And with this particular cartoon, you could see some of these people cameoing inside the show, and it won't feel shoehorned in.
Yeah.
It's just open.
Smart
it's just,
references.
it'll just be awesome.
Yeah, smart references. And like I said, if you're impressed by anything, Queso Poblana, she's so complex. Mm-hmm. Queso Poblana is a complex character. Mikey, oh my God, that family. Listen, the family that if you watch it, you'll see there's this family with a lot of meat references. Mm-hmm. And let me just say what producer Ron said earlier here on Eat the Cake Anime while we were reviewing Invincible Fight Girl. The voice cast, oh my goodness. The voice cast is great. We know about Keith David. You have Rolanda Watts. Mm-hmm. We have Clancy Brown. Mm-hmm. More people that are making it warm and familiar and exciting, and it makes you want to watch the next episode, because there is no, oh yeah, this is going to happen, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. It's different.
Yeah, it's not formulaic.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that makes it special. And to have someone like Justin Gordon Montgomery come out with this work and have it resonate with people of color, it is great. So, of course, this is not a sub or dub conversation.
Nope.
Simply because it is an American animated action, show, and it has the comedic elements in it. It's something that you'd want to watch if you want to kind of like pass the time, just to see what's going on. The feeling of nostalgia that we had at Eat the Cake Anime was such a pleasant surprise to us that we really want to see more, and we are going to start focusing more, if we can find them, on anime and animation shows that like kind of showcase us in a light where it's not a big deal. Mm-hmm. Where you can have like my niece or one of my nieces like say, you know what, I want to be like that, like the Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur type thing. So yeah, that's what I like most about this. So wasn't sub or dub. We watched it, regular English or whatever. For the rating, you want to give them a rating?
I'm going to give it right now. Mm-hmm. I'll give it a 9. I want to say 10, but I'm going to give it a 9 because I just want to see what the next season brings.
Yeah, I will say I'll give it like an 8.5. The reason why is because it was, like I said, the nostalgia, everything was so cleverly done. But I did not like the way they had the 8-year-old. And if you guys watch the show, you'll know that the 8-year-old, it just kind of threw me for a while. But then it kind of brought me back. But the suspense at the end and how Aunt P or Queso Poblana, how, it's a mystery. Mm-hmm. It's like, I need more. I need to see more. So we are definitely recommending to you guys
most definitely.
Invincible Fight Girl. You can find it on Cartoon Network's. It's part of the Adult Swim block. If not, of course, you can find it on demand. And it's also available on Max. So despite the other streaming services that we talk about, you can find this one. It's available for you now. Please watch it. It premiered in November. And we're ready for the second season.
Yeah. Basically, at the end of the day, anybody who likes wrestling, you're going to love this one.
Yeah, most definitely. So, yeah, that's it. Invincible Fight Girl, you guys. Check it out. Eat the Cake Anime. We love it. We recommend it to you. And let us know what you think. So, with that, until next time, don't forget, it's okay to enjoy anime.